Hello, today we're going to be doing a snowflake box totally in Lightburn. And I'm going to do the top first. So I'm going to get my snowflake pattern in. So I do a file open and I get to where I have my image and I'm going to select JPEGs and there's my snowflake. I'm going to open that up and that's pretty big. Now all my box tops are 6 by 10. So this obviously is going to be way too big. So I'm going to reselect this, make sure that this is set, and I'm going to set the maximum height of the first snowflake to 4 inches. Now while I got that set, I'm going to go in, reselect that again, get it up a little bit, and I'm going to do a trace image, and I'm going to reduce the threshold so that the whole image gets outlined. I can do a fade image to see what it's going to look like. Yeah, that looks good. So I'm going to say OK to that. And then since I don't need the image anymore, I'm going to get rid of it. Now the other problem is I want the image to be on the black layer, so that's this. Okay, so we're doing pretty good over there. Okay, let's reduce this down again, get this back here, and this time we're going to put a box in. So I'm going to put an outline of a box, and I want to set the proportion box off, and I'm going to make this 10 inches by 6 inches. Okay, there's the box. Let's see if I can get this thing right around there. Okay, that kind of looks good to me, so I'm going to get this up a little bit. Okay, so I want three snowflakes, so I'm going to take this snowflake, do a Control D key to duplicate it, and I'm going to move the snowflake up a little bit. I'm going to turn the proportion back on again because everything should be in proportion now when I do a scaling. And I'm going to set the height to 2.5 inches. Okay, now since I want sort of a flow here, I'm going to move this guy up a little bit. And I'm going to take the main one again and do a Control duplicate, Control D. Oops, so we got that again. Okay, come on. There we go. Move that out of the way. Now for the third one, it's going to be 1.5 inches. I think will give me a good scale. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's move this around a little bit. I want sort of an arc here, sort of an arc. I might move this thing around a little bit, but this is what I got. Now, I'm going to probably do this in yellow heart, this in Patagonia redwood, and this here probably in orange paddock. I think that's what it's going to look like. Now I don't want the box to have any effect here, so I'm going to turn that into an invisible layer like that. So now I've got all 3 snowflakes black, and that's going to be cut at 100 inches per minute, 20 watts. So let's just make all of this 100 inches per minute, 20 watts. Let's get this. I did this again. Let's get this out of the way here. Okay. I got the cut selected graphics on, the use selection origin on, and we're going to do a tools preview to see what it's going to look like. And it looks good to me, so we're good. So when I cut this on the laser, all I have to do is hit start now, and everything in black here is going to be gouged out, and that's good. Okay, now once I'm done with that, I'm going to do a Control D again and move this down. And this time what we're going to do is we're going to create the actual inset. So with the inset, I want the inset to be a little bit away from here to take care of the kerf issue. So I'm going to cut at 17 inches per minute at 60 watts. And if we take a look at the kerf offset here, I got set for 0.005. And that should be okay. That means that this will extend out just a little bit, and they'll handle any kerf issues that I have. So 17 inches per minute, 60 watts. Since I got a 100-watt machine, 60% should be roughly around 50 to 60 watts. So I'll do okay with that. Now, since these are 3 different woods, I'll do this one and then hit the start on yellow heart. Then I'll put this one in, and that's going to be the Patagonia rosewood, and then rosewood, not redwood. And then I'm going to do this, and this is going to be the orange paddock. So we have our design, everything's all ready, and we're going to do our insets and cuts. So I just got done lasering this, and this is Eastern Rock Maple. And these patterns over here were lasered in by my 100-watt laser. I used approximately 100 inches per minute at 20 watts, and that got me these. So the depth is pretty good, as you can tell. There's a pretty good depth on here. It looks like, over 1/10 of an inch. And one of the other problems is every time you have a seam inside of your wood, which I have in this wood because this is all repurposed, there's usually something that you have to break out. So luckily there's only a seam back here, and it's very small, and I can get it out real easy. Okay, so we got that out of the way. Then the next problem that you have is doing the inlays. So these were done at 100 inches per minute, around 20 watts, which is 20% of my system. These are the inlays that I did, and these snowflakes are really nice. They turned out really well. And these are yellow heart, rosewood, Patagonia, and this one here is paddock, which is very soft. So this is the one I'm going to be worried about a little bit later on. So these were all cut out at exactly the same speed, 17 inches per minute at 60 watts, so 60% of my system. And that's what these were cut out at. So the next step is to actually insert the inlays. So I will put in some glue into the system here, and then using this tool I will try to get the glue in as good as I can into the system, but you really got to make sure that the edges of the insides get wet, because that is what after all is going to be grabbing this thing. Alright, so the small yellow heart one goes in next, and the way I did it is I do them backwards because of how these things should fit into the system. So that looks like a pretty good fit there. And then I will take my very precision tool right here, and hopefully this will go in deep enough and when I sand it down, it's going to be interesting. Okay, so I got that one in, and now do the rosewood Patagonia. And probably would help here if I get this up a little bit, get a little bit more glue up. You want to put sufficient glue in there to hold it, but you don't want enough to totally flood, because that will cause another problem for us later on. So spread my glue around just like I did before, and hopefully this piece will fit in very nicely, and it looks like it might, or should. Much better. that piece worked out pretty good. Still got a little bit of problem with that, I think. We'll see what happens when I get it done. Okay, now for the big piece. And this is really the one I'm worried about. So it's really big and delicate. So we'll just play it by ear here. And slosh glue in into all the areas. Make sure that you cover all of the edges. Every edge should get some glue here. Okay, and if you got too much, you really should get rid of it. And I think I got a little bit much here. So just going to wipe it off a little bit. And get rid of any excess glue. That will prevent it from seating correctly too, which might have been the problem I had with this. Okay, so the moment of truth, put it in. It looks good, not sure. I'm going to press it in first. Oh, I think we're going to be okay. Get ready. One of the differences is when I did these, I had a curve setting of 0.01 on these two. Now when I did this one, I was a little worried. About it. So I reduced my curve setting to 0.005. Now underneath here may or may not be a problem. I don't know. So what we're going to do is we're going to let this dry for about 2 hours, maybe a little bit more, and then we'll come back and we'll sand it all down. So that should then get it flush. And as long as the thickness of the woods is bigger than my eyes here, this should all level out really nice, and I think it will look really good. This here is due to the staining of the burn when we did that. And then what I do is I take some acetone to wipe off the rosin, and that gets into the wood. But once you sand it, that will all disappear. So that's what we got so far. And after a couple of hours, I'm going to go ahead and start doing the sanding.